Aloha, this is Will Lidgate here, coming to you live and direct from Chocolate HQ. How's it going out there? Really excited to announce to all my friends that I got the TED Talk. So I'm going to be giving a TEDx talk about changing the way we eat chocolate. None of that just gobbling down milk chocolate. It's going to be all about dark chocolate. And I'm going to tell you a bunch of stuff that you might not have known. All about chocolate. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about that. April 17th, live and direct from the zoo. Live and direct from the Oceanographic here in Valencia, Spain. All right. Very cool. So today I want to answer a question that I get asked a lot. What is white chocolate? Is it even really chocolate? It's not really chocolate, is it? It's just fake. Well, I'm here to answer that question once and for all. So, yes, white chocolate is chocolate. Most of the time, especially after 2004. Okay, so what is white chocolate? White chocolate is the fat of the cacao bean, known as cocoa butter, mixed with milk powder, some vanilla, a lot of sugar, salt, generally delicious tasting things, sometimes inclusions, things like coffee, fruits, dried strawberries, stuff like that. So, why is it usually chocolate and not always chocolate? Okay, well, in 2004, the FDA passed regulations stating that all white chocolate must be at least 20% cacao butter by weight, or it cannot legally be defined as white chocolate. Shortly thereafter, the European Union followed suit. So anything that's labeled as white chocolate since 2004 is in fact white chocolate. Now, before then, there were people, manufacturing type people, who just put whatever artificial cocoa butter, PGPR, polyglycerol, polyricinoleate garbage in their chocolate, white chocolate, and said, hey, it's white chocolate. So white chocolate got this reputation like, oh, it's not really chocolate. But let's address the other thing. Okay, wait, but it's why is it a different color? It's just the fat from the cocoa bean. What is the fat from the cocoa bean? Okay, so cacao beans contain a very high percentage of fats, of oils. This is just like a peanut, okay? So what happens when you grind a peanut? What happens? You get peanut butter. It's runny, it's oily, right? Cacao beans are exactly the same. Even if you just take a little piece of cacao bean and kind of press it on your fingernail, you'll see it's oily. So when you grind it, what you get is this goopy kind of cacao mess, and what the goop is the fat. So when you extract cocoa butter, you basically take a big press and you press out all of that oil, and then what you're left with is press cake, which is the solids of the cocoa bean that can then be processed into cocoa powder or something like that. And then you have the cocoa butter. And the cocoa butter, okay, real cocoa butter, it's not actually white. Okay, common misconception. White chocolate shouldn't actually be white. It should be ivory, blonde. And if you're eating a white chocolate that's really pure white, it's a good sign that it's not a very high quality white chocolate, or it might be messed with and adulterated. Real white chocolate is ivory colored or blonde always. And that's one of the ways you know you got the good stuff. So, cocoa butter is a fat. It's a saturated fat. Do you know what the difference between saturated and unsaturated fat is? Well, let me tell you. Saturated fat is fat that is solid at room temperature. So anybody out there like coconut oil, you can tell I'm from Hawaii, and we all have coconut oil. I had a girlfriend from Hilo, and she had this manoi, which is the kind of coconut oil you put on your skin. And you could tell it was a cold night when the Monoi oil was sort of solidified. So that's how you know what season it is in Hawaii. Is the coconut oil solid, or is it a liquid? Because when it gets warm, it's all a liquid. So saturated fats are those fats which are solid when it's regular room temperature as opposed to sort of tropical summer room temperature. So things like coconut oil, cacao, things like butter and fats from meat, like the fat on a steak. That's saturated fat. Okay, now in the olden days, saturated fat got a bad rap. Now saturated fat is all the rage in dietary circles. So I'm not for sort of exploding your saturated fat intake, because I think that there is still probably some merit to the older research, and there may be a certain amount of saturated fat that we shouldn't consume more of. So I'm still more moderate around it, my saturated fat consumption. And what that boils down to is I basically will eat about 1 ounce of dark chocolate every day, and you could go higher if you want to. But I'd say that rule sort of holds true for cocoa butter as well. Because white chocolate does have health benefits. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Cocoa butter is made primarily of oleic acid and stearic acid. Both of these saturated fats have positive correlations with cardiovascular health. So you can, in fact, eat white chocolate every day. I'd say about 30 grams a day, an ounce a day, to not sort of explode your macros and eat too much and put on weight, but also get all the health benefits of the oleic acid and the stearic acid. So, what do I buy for white chocolate? You may be asking yourself. Well, avoid the 99-cent stuff, if you know what I'm saying. Valrhona makes a fantastic dulce. It's this blonde bar. It's really good. There's a wonderful white chocolate company out of Iceland I just found out about that does some wonderful inclusions. So if you have any questions, please write a comment or just let me know, and I'll attempt to answer them. Anything about chocolate you want to hear, I'll answer it. And I'll put a link below to the FDA laws that say how much cocoa butter has to be in white chocolate, and also a couple white chocolate links down below. So thanks so much for watching.